In 1950s, first commercial computers were introduced. This was the first generation of modern computers which started from 1951 to 1959. Computers in this generation used vacuum tubes to store information. Primary memory devices was magnetic drum that rotated under read or write head. Input device was a card reader that read the holes in IBM cards. These are the same cards used in Jacquard's loom. Output device was punched card and line printers. In later years of this generation, magnetic tapes were introduced. Magnetic tapes stored data sequentially. Magnetic tape was first auxiliary or external storage device for a computer. Word peripherals was used in this generation for input, output, and auxiliary storage devices. Second generation of computers is counted from 1959 to 1965. In this generation of computers, biggest invention was transistor. Transistor replaced vacuum tubes in computers. It was invented by John Bardeen, Walter H. Burton, and William B. Shockley. Computer memory in this generation was made from magnetic cores. Each magnetic core stored one bit. Cores were strung together to form memory cells. These cells made immediate access of memory possible that was not possible with drums. In this generation, auxiliary storage device magnetic disk was introduced. It is faster than magnetic tape. In magnetic tapes, you have to go through every piece of information sequentially to access specific information. In magnetic disk, each piece of data has its own address. Read or write head immediately access information based on the address of a cell. Third generation of computers starts from 1965 to 1971. In this generation, integrated circuit chips were used. All the components, along with transistors of a computer, were interconnected on a single silicon chip. Gordon Moore, a computer scientist, noticed that each year number of circuits placed on IC were doubling. His observation is known as Moore's law. In third generation, transistor became number one choice in making computer components. Logic gates built with transistors were used in building memory and other circuits of computer. Although memory built with transistors was really fast, but it was volatile, so auxiliary storage devices were still needed. Terminal, an input and output device with a keyboard, was introduced in this generation. Fourth generation of computers starts from 1971. This generation was characterized by large-scale integration of transistors on a chip. From individual transistors on circuit board, whole microprocessors or microcomputer chips were embedded on a circuit board. Phrase personal computer also entered into the dictionary in this generation. New tech companies in this generation were Apple, Atari, Commodore, and Sun. In this generation, popular computers were IBM PC and Apple's Macintosh. Large computers, also known as workstations, which were connected to multiple terminals, were also introduced in this generation. In this generation, computers' internal instruction set was also modified. RISC architecture, reduced instruction set computer, was also introduced in this generation. In this generation, Moore's law was modified twice. In third generation, Moore's law stated that number of transistors on a chip doubled each year. But in fourth generation, because chips were integrated on circuit boards, so chip density kept doubling after every 18 months. Latest development in computer science has shown that it has been noted that computers will either double in power at the same price or halve in cost for the same power every 18 months. Since computers are still produced using integrated circuit chips, there is no big difference between fourth and fifth generation. But currently, number of transistors have increased tremendously on a single chip. From a few thousand transistors, modern computers have millions of transistors on a single chip. It is also known as very large scale integration or ultra large integration of transistors. Besides ultra large integration of transistors on a chip, modern computers come with multiple chips in a single processor. This phenomenon is also known as parallel processing in computers because more than one processor can work on a single task at the same time. And artificial intelligence is a very hot topic in this generation hot topic of research in this generation.